This episode of the Clear Shots podcast is brought to you by Pinecast.com. Pinecast.com is an easy-to-use podcast hosting site that lets you post your show to the leading podcast platforms, including Google Play, Stitcher, iTunes, and more. Their free plan works for short-form podcasts, and their cheapest plan is only $5 a month. With Pinecast, you'll get access to unlimited episodes, unlimited storage, unlimited bandwidth, accurate analytics, and a website creator. It's actually really awesome. We use it all the time. It's really like the way we power our podcast. It's super cheap, and like what's awesome is it goes to every platform you could think of. So wherever you're listening to us right now, that's how we got there, with the exception of YouTube. Sign up for Pinecast today using the promo code R-63F8FB, and you'll get 40% off your first 4 months. So if you got a podcast or you're thinking about starting a podcast, there's no better place to do it than Pinecast.com. It's simple, it's easy to use, it's fast, and like I said, it goes to everything. Again, visit Pinecast.com and use the code R-63F8FB to get 40% off your first 4 months. With that being said, welcome to the 31st episode of the podcast. Today, Cass is back on the show. We had him twice now. I think we've done like a total of like 7 hours with him in the past. We did another 2.5 hours, I would say. Not entirely sure. But we talked about all kinds of stuff, and I really liked some of the conversation we got into, so let's just hop right into it.
Give him clear shot! Don't give him clear shot! Don't give him clear shot! Don't give him clear shot!
I was talking to Seth about it, how I just want to fucking unwind every night. Instead of playing Madden or whatever, I just fucking hop into GTA 5. Steal a sports car, get high as fuck, and listen to music and just drive around.
Speaking of Madden,
a fictional Los Angeles. Yeah, the new Madden came out. Did you get it?
Well, it comes out tomorrow.
Oh,
and I just went to GameStop today to
pre-order
pay for it. I was like, I don't know.
So
I'm probably gonna end up getting it anyway.
The EA access is out. I have to get it. No, did you see all the improvements they made? Tons of the skills they split up into different branches. Like route running isn't just route running anymore. So you're going to have guys like Cole Beasley or Jarvis Landry that have short route running. That's like in the 90s. But Cole Beasley and Jarvis aren't going to be getting out past the defense. They're not going to blow the top off the safeties. So their deep route running is like a 60. So they're going to make the wide receivers more specialized. And they're going to have the running backs are more specialized, where apparently now elusiveness and trucking are the same. But it's going to factor in is like a 50-50 percentage. So if you have high elusiveness and low trucking, you're more like a Shady McCoy kind of guy that dodges tackles. If you're high trucking, low elusiveness, you can be like a LeGarrette Blount. So it's going to matter more the combination, because before they never combined moves. You know what I mean? Like
it just looks like they made things a little less stiff than, you know what I mean? Like I think the game just looks a little bit better.
Yeah, for sure.
I knew I was going to get it, so I was like, fuck it, whatever.
As soon as I saw that you could create your own draft classes, that's when I was sold.
It's one of the only games that I buy like physical, because most of the times I buy digital games now, because a lot of people just buy digital games now because it's easier, especially for like release day. You can just play the game
like with Destiny 2. You and I bought Destiny 2 way ahead of time, and then when it came out,
it's just
it was installed. We could play like right at
you midnight. Don't have to go to GameStop and pick it up or some shit.
You have to fucking see Dave Peel.
But with sports games, it's like with sports games, if I'm going to buy it every year, I might as well get the physical and just trade it in, even if it's a couple bucks.
Yeah, because it adds up.
Whatever, it's... I don't know, I'll find out how it is tomorrow. But anyway, I had an idea for a group chat, like a Facebook group chat, where we like... Because I don't ever discover new music, ever.
Oh, yeah.
So I was thinking, like, let's just add everyone that is like listens to good music and have them share fucking music in one chat.
Word, yeah.
Like I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Because I don't know where to find music anymore.
It's hard to now, because everywhere you go to listen to music, like I use YouTube sometimes and I use Apple sometimes, or iTunes. With YouTube, it'll give you recommended, but it's mostly the same exact genre and it's music you've heard before. And then with iTunes, every Tuesday they send you a playlist that's like your recommended playlist, but it's only music that you've added to your library. They're never giving you new stuff. And that makes me think about, like, if it wasn't for Pandora, way back when Pandora first came out, before you could even pay for it for unlimited skips, like, I discovered so much music through just Pandora. So much stand-up comedy. Like, I discovered a ton of comedians through Pandora.
True.
See, and now it's like, Pandora's like a second thought nowadays, when it was like the big fucking free music.
It's just my playlist of music is like, I hear the same songs twice within like, I don't know, like 7 hours maybe.
Yeah, for sure.
And so I'm like, well, I need more. Like, I need more shit on there. Obviously, the playlist that I have doesn't have every fucking song that I have in my library.
Yeah.
Which I could do that, but it's mostly like songs that I want to listen to. Even
then, I guarantee you, if you shuffled your whole library, the first like 20 songs would all be songs that you have been listening to lately.
Yeah.
Like, I've noticed that. Like, I think my iTunes library on my phone is like 3,000 songs, and I'll say I'm washing dishes or I'm doing stuff around the house. You know, it's all music in my library, so it's all albums and artists I've listened to before. So it's not like I'm gonna get mad if one of them pops up.
Right.
But I shuffle it, and it's like the same exact, like, the Van Halen song I listen to the most, the Pink Floyd song I listen to the most, Opeth, Suicide Boys, Eminem, yada, yada, yada. And it takes like fucking 30 or 40 songs in before they start playing you stuff that you don't listen to often. And I think that's what a lot of people want. I would love to be able to listen. Like, the other day, I
always felt like the radio station things aren't that great.
As
like,
far
a lot
as
of times, like, because...
Like, what
I guess it
stations?
has to
like
do
Pandora,
with
or
like a Pandora or like even Spotify radio or something. I feel like the genre that we listen to, like if you put in like Meshuggah or something, you're not gonna get that much shit.
You're gonna get mostly
similar.
Meshuggah.
Yeah, you're gonna get mostly Meshuggah or like Gojira or that. But it's like you get maybe 5 different bands. It seems like, and then the ones you get that aren't those bands, they're fucking. Not
really
the
off.
same.
Yeah.
They're not the same genre, really.
Yeah.
By the way, we have Cass here again. Cass is our friend that did a walking handstand across New York State.
Yeah.
Backwards. No, he's a good friend of ours that skateboarded across America, and he's here to tell you why you should vote for Trump in 2020.
Well,
so how you
hashtag build the wall.
Oh goodness.
The pressure's on.
Now we throw to you.
So, hey guys, how's it going? No, I think I'll be trying to go for Bernie Sanders. But the only thing I don't like about Bernie Sanders is his gun control policy. It's
How do you feel about? I don't think I've ever asked you about gun control.
This is a weird topic too, because we never get anywhere. We never really get anywhere with gun control.
With gun control, it's usually just making jokes about hypothetical situations until Brian gets mad.
Yeah, metal detectors and shit.
Metal detectors and shit.
I think that they should bring full automatic guns back.
That is the exact opposite of what I expect you to say, and I love it. Yeah,
I want full automatic weapons. What the fuck else is the
bump stocks,
like
scopes, laser sights, all that shit, man.
Yeah.
How else are we gonna fight against the government? Like,
thank you.
Yeah, that's a weird thing.
Before you get into it, I have this argument all the time in my head with my other personality. Mm-hmm. When people are like, we need the guns to fight against the tyrannical government, man. Mm-hmm. And then there's always the person that's like, well, they have drones. All right, yeah, okay, they have drones. But you realize that the military is also citizens. Like, just because you have the uniform doesn't mean you're automatically indoctrinated into supporting the government 100%.
Yeah, that's true.
MK Ultra people, you could easily...
I have relatives in the military, I have friends in the military, and there are so many of them that are like... They just do it because that was the best option available to them. Yeah. It's not like people join them. Like most people nowadays join the military for either healthcare reasons, insurance reasons, or housing market reasons, or all of them. Or even if you just want to do it.
I guess it's true. I think the thing is, like, they'd have to really get people on their side, like the people that work for them. They'd have to really get them on their fucking side. Yeah.
What if you mind controlled like a dozen people to be able to flip the switches on a bunch of AI drones?
Yeah, exactly.
See, now we're talking.
You have guys
that's something
that are like,
hypothetical.
Some guys that are up there at the top of the pyramid that are like, we're going to do whatever it takes. Because it doesn't take an army to control drones, like Cass said. It can take a fringe group of like 20 dudes that are gung-ho, like, fuck the civilians.
Yeah.
The
Because the
government,
idea
like, yeah.
is that the military would definitely still overpower us.
Without a doubt, but even back then,
with fucking, like,
even back then, though, when the Second Amendment was a huge thing back in like the 1800s, late whatever, the government would still overpower any militia that citizens could come up with.
We should be allowed to have rail guns. We should be allowed to have. There actually
Power
are
weapons.
people that are allowed to that have nuclear weapons that are like not a country too.
Yeah.
They just have them.
Yeah.
Like, it's like,
As
what
long
the
as
fuck?
power
What freaks
weapons,
me out?
as long as power weapons spawn near us, we'll be.
Yeah.
we'll
As
be
long as
good.
grenades are
As
on
long
the
as we
map.
control the map,
Yeah.
we'll be fine.
I read this the other night, and I thought of you instantly. Do you know how many? You probably do. Do you know how many nuclear weapons have gone "quote unquote" missing in the past like 30 years? It's way more than you realize, and it's not like they went missing and they got detonated somewhere. It's like no, they're off the grid now, and nobody knows where they are.
I know we got like
Somebody knows where they are.
7 to 10,000 nukes total or something
Yeah,
like that.
it's something like I think America has a couple hundred nuclear weapons that are off the grid, and then Russia has like another 60 or
Well,
70.
sure as fuck, somebody knows where they are, and that person is loaded.
It's definitely like George Soros,
Yeah.
like or Antifa or something like that. Like it's totally like the wrong people to have it. It's,
It's like
totally
the
the
Me Too.
KKK.
It's like the Me Too movement has all the fucking nukes.
They're just all aimed at Harvey Weinstein's.
They tweet like a photo of a bunch of nukes. Hashtag Me Too.
I'm really waiting. There's so many video games and movies that explore the idea of biological weapons or bioorganic weapons.
Yeah.
Resident Evil, the Alien series. I am waiting for that to happen. Fallout with the death clause.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm waiting for like the government to like invent a monster or release a monster that is specifically used.
Isn't there like a disease that's going through like elk and shit right now?
Going through what?
Like elk and like deer and shit like that right now?
Yeah,
like
they're getting
like,
their own. They're getting their own brand of. It's like a cross between mad cow disease and rabies.
Yeah, and
They're
it
going
spreads
nuts,
really
and
easy.
They spread, but the problem is with rabies, within a certain time period, no matter what species you are, you die within a certain amount of time. But this one, it's making them go crazy, and it's spreading like crazy, and they're not dying from it.
But it spreads through their like saliva and shit.
Yeah,
like,
it spreads through.
you
like,
could just
anything.
touch it and be fucked.
Yeah, it's fucking terrifying.
Yeah. That's. I think that's a.
We just dove into the deep end, and now we're surfacing, and we're
That's
trying to
why-
rearrange the topic.
Yeah, 'cause
That's
now
why
we
I got
just, like,
my
we-
katana.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we laid out so much. We
have
just
to,
laid
man.
out so much.
I mean,
think.
I've been fucking high out of my mind since like 3:00, and I've been drunk since 6.
There's this gun I'm actually going to be
Feeling
saving
good.
up for called the Scavenger 6, and it can hold every round between like a
I'll be Jamie tonight.
22 and like I think it was like a 308 or something like that. It can't go up to a 50 cal, but it shoots like almost every bullet.
That's pretty
underneath
cool.
that. It was really cool. It looks like a really large revolver.
I was thinking about the other night. I've never been hunting, but I'm interested in at least trying it once.
I've been bow hunting. I was an archery instructor out at Camp Hollis.
That seems
for
cool.
years.
Shit, is that fun?
Yeah, I love
here's your
archery.
It seems
6,
difficult
by the
too, though.
See if I can
Once
get-
you learn where the arrow's going, it's mostly just
It's like a
chilling up
text-
in
Is that
a
it there?
tree
Yeah,
and just there's a deer path, and
I hear
I'm
it's,
gonna chill.
I
Yeah,
hear it's
isn't that
very-
a beautiful gun?
That's fucking.
Oh, that's
It
crazy.
almost looks like a tip and paintball gun.
It's like a
yeah, it
pistol
So it uses-
with a
Yeah.
shoulder.
Oh my god! You ever played Resident Evil 4?
that stock is really weird.
It reminds me of the Red 9 from Resident Evil 4. And it fires 22 Magnum, .17 Magnums, 380s, 357s, 9mm, 40 caliber, 10mm, which is like insane,
Oh, so it just has a barrel of
45,
it.
44 Magnum. So how does that
So
work?
what do you just
How does
rotate the barrel?
Is it like one of those screwdrivers where you have the different fucking...
Yeah, it's like a
There's
utility.
Driver
there's
heads in
different revolver things too. So that one you can mix up and stuff like that. One's like mixed up.
Yeah,
That is fucking nuts.
that is crazy.
I think it's, you know what is crazy to me the most is that it took until recently for that to be invented, according to that fucking picture.
Yeah, me too.
It must have been it must have been some sort of fucking licensing or patent issue where,
Yeah.
you know, it took them a while to make up with it. Oh yeah, shit. Going off topic for a second. So
And I like how InfoWars is your...
Yeah, actually, that was another thing I wanted to talk
On
about.
your
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
InfoWars getting completely... And, all right, and there's going to be people listening that are like, well, if you want to listen to InfoWars, just go to their website or go to another site that isn't, owned by Apple, Facebook, or Google, and Twitter.
YouTube.
Or YouTube, yeah. So go to any of those sites, online or apps, to listen or watch InfoWars. The problem is...
Right, because it'll be edited in certain situations,
Well,
right?
the problem is that all of those companies completely wiped InfoWars off. Complete purge.
Really?
Completely.
Like YouTube and shit?
YouTube completely purged his whole account, deleted all of his videos, comments, posts, everything. Facebook did the same thing.
Shit.
iTunes did the same thing.
When was this?
A couple days ago.
Yeah.
Huh.
And this is maybe 2 weeks after Mark Zuckerberg himself released a statement saying that they support everybody's beliefs and open beliefs, and the controversy surrounding Facebook banning or blocking extremists on either side. They resolved it, unblocked all these people, and now 2 weeks later, they're blocking, to me, a guy that, he says some fucking weird shit. Like the whole thing, whether you agree with it or not, it's just generally weird. The Sandy Hook thing, how it's all crisis actors, and then the Vegas shooting, whether you agree with it or not, you know what I mean?
It gets weird because
it's because he's leaning right wing and he's associates with the president.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
He was at a point, but at the same time, you have the Young Turks, which are the exact left-wing radical opposites that don't believe in the Armenian genocide. They don't believe all these different wars happened. They don't believe that America was actually in Iraq or in the Gulf.
It's just
and it's
weird.
Like they're allowed to be there because they are part of the agenda. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't think companies that control that much of the media.
If you're really that scared, or if what he's saying is that complete bullshit, then why are you that scared of it?
Exactly.
It gets weird because, but the thing is, like,
thank you. Exactly.
Even the things he says, though, like, even if you're not completely committed to it, like, if you follow him and shit, and that's what you listen to, you're likely to start believing the shit that he says.
Here's something from what I've seen, because I actually used to, like, kind of, like, he was always too intense for me, but I was like, okay, this guy is actually doing some stuff, because there's this one video of him actually going to Bohemian Grove, and like he was like sneaking in and everything,
right? And
that was like pretty cool. And there he got like video of the ceremony and like is explaining it and stuff like that. And then also there's this other documentary. It's pretty long, so I won't have you guys bring it up, but it's Sandy Hook in 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 dimensions. It's like all written out like that, but it's actually pretty convincing how like they have videos of, and they show like, look at this person literally just going into this building and going out of it, and they're all just going in a circle and stuff like that. And then here's a video of them having cameras in front of them.
We talked about this when you were here.
Oh, word.
You and I also watched it one night.
Oh, word, yeah.
When we were together.
Yep, when Mooch was there, yeah. Yep, and that one was pretty weird. So, but then I could also see like the other side of it. So I don't know, but I'm not gonna be going to the parents' houses and stuff like that and being like, "Did your kids die?" or whatever.
Exactly.
Like, I'm not gonna put that much weight into it. But I could see the government doing that. The government shouldn't be putting themselves in this position where we should even be thinking that they would be doing something like that.
Yeah, that's the
they
big
put
problem
themselves
I have,
in this
problem,
position.
The problem I have is that and people are like, well, they're a private company, they can do what they want. And it's like, all right, but I love the Constitution. I love the Constitution more than I love loose, tall, blonde women that wear chokers.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa.
I'm not going to say any names, but so I love the Constitution, man.
Chokers are a good thing, dude.
Chokers, buddy. Best part is if they have one thick enough, they don't even see the fingerprints you left on their necks. You know what I mean? So, no. So like, if these companies, people are okay. Actually, let me wind back a little bit. I love that I don't go on Facebook often. I think it's toxic and it just makes me angry. If I want to get that mad, I'll just watch the Cowboys lose to the Packers over and over.
Yeah,
and over.
it doesn't really show me anything new anyway.
Yeah, it's just people bitching, and that people that bitch about the government that don't vote. Yeah, people that I don't vote, so I can't say much. I don't really bitch. I'm just mostly fucking questioning it.
It's people that
But it's
bitch
like-
about topics like about Trump or their topics,
And that's
that
all
Trump
they
talks
talk about, dude.
But they also don't have any level of understanding.
They're
on these
playing
issues.
right into his hand.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the best part. For every single person I knew that hated Trump, I know like 2 or 3 that like him just because the people that hate him, are the biggest pussies and
Mm-hmm.
little bitches and drama queens from high school. I know so many people that are like, yeah, I don't even know what he's about, but I voted for him because Hannah hates him, and
Yeah.
she's annoying on Facebook, and like
Yeah,
remember
it's
I
like
put
it's like a vote out of spite.
Yeah, like I put a thing on Facebook when the election happened. I'm gonna exercise my right to vote by staying at home and not voting. And so many people got mad, but the only people that got mad about it were people that were voting for Hillary.
Mm-hmm.
I had no friends that are Republicans or conservatives or Trump supporters that were like bitching about it.
they
A
all
lot of
have
them
the
thought it was
fucking.
funny.
They all have the
There was a
elephant in their
shit ton
profile
of people
picture.
that were actually registered to vote. I was one of them. I didn't get the vote for Bernie Sanders, so I didn't go vote.
Exactly, that's how I felt about it.
So,
the guy that I wanted,
I was
didn't
cheated
vote.
out on.
What's crazy is that you can still vote for him.
I
Yeah.
couldn't.
You know? Why not?
Well, you can write him in, but is that really going to do anything?
They no.
I mean, theoretically,
Would they not even let you write it in?
it was all digital, so
it's supposed
couldn't be
to.
able to
I mean,
Stupid.
write-ins are supposed to matter, but who's to say they can't just ignore them? You know,
Fucking gas connection stopped. What are you talking about?
it's been
For
idle.
watching the Yankee game.
But yeah, who's to say the government just doesn't just go, oh, this is a write-in, fucking, it doesn't matter. They throw it in the trash bin.
yeah.
Yeah, and then so yeah, going off of that, what I was gonna get to in the beginning was the same people that are praising and super happy about the fact that Alex Jones has been banned off of Twitter, YouTube, iTunes, and
But
Facebook.
why do they care? Like, I don't ever see
the
anything
thing
about
is
Alex
that
Jones.
those
so,
are the
like,
same people that were up in arms about net neutrality ending,
Right.
talking about they don't
Yeah.
want the government to censor them, but they're perfectly okay with private companies to censor them.
Yeah.
It's like whether you believe in somebody's beliefs, whether you believe in what they're saying, whether you think it's bullshit or not. I think everybody should have a
Yep.
right to say what they want.
Yeah.
And you decide as a consumer whether or not they get the attention they want.
That's what the
Since
right of
everybody is up
freedom
in
of
arms
speech
about
is.
Alex. Like I know who Alex Jones is. It's hard not to. But
Right.
it's like I never paid attention to him. I just thought he was
Exactly.
an entertaining conspiracy theorist.
Exactly.
And
Like,
now all of
you-
a sudden he's saying all this shit that is piling up and making sense.
Yeah.
And then as he's making sense with all this stuff, and then apparently these documents are being leaked. And while these documents are being leaked and transcribed, all of a sudden, boom, 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 he's banned from all these platforms.
I think the thing is that he says a lot of things that actually are true, but like he very much
Misinformation.
like, yeah. It's also very
like the
strange
big thing
that,
with the frogs turning gay that people like to bring up, and it's like people make fun of it, but they don't realize that it was a co-study between the University or Massachusetts University of Technology (MIT)
Yeah.
and then also University of California at Berkeley worked together and proved that the chemicals that they were putting in the water to purify it, and make it better for the ecosystem, was turning generations and generations of not only frogs but other animals and stuff like that into like androgynous what's the word when you have hermaphrodite
yeah,
like
that's what it is. They would have,
species that are sterile, can't reproduce, and they die within a few years.
yeah, and what's weird is
it's
the way he
fucking
delivers it. That's the problem. It's
yeah.
because he delivers it
Yep,
as a
exactly.
character.
The whole time he's always been really intense and stuff
Right.
like that, and that's how he gets views. But that's how
Yep.
it's like,
He gets
all
a
right,
lot of criticism
you're
for that.
saying the stuff, but like, all right, I'd rather go listen to David Icke or something like that.
Yeah,
where-
someone who's not like cartoonizing
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah, he's like a political
Is that a
cartoon.
word?
but he's a
Cartoonizing?
No,
person,
totally.
for sure. If it's not, you just made it.
Yeah.
Fucking stamp it out, bud.
But either way, he does like just the way he delivers everything
I
is
believe
where he gets
that
criticism.
Alex Jones has like over the years, I feel like he was like really too close to hitting the nail on the head, and then they I think they got to him at some point somehow, and they were like, "Yo, frickin', you're like, we're gonna come after you and your family and all this shit, and like, if you like, you can still keep doing this, but you're gonna be throwing in these little twists."
They
now."
sent they sent him a letter in the mail, and it's just a picture of Seth Rich. And they're like, "This could be you." You
I don't
what
know who
mean?
Seth Rich is.
He was
but,
he was the whistleblower for the Clinton Foundation.
Ooh.
That he released a few bits and pieces of these documents where it found out the Clinton Foundation was funding our enemies during not only the Iraq War and the War on Terror, but they were also funding our enemies during the Gulf War.
Yeah.
And he was releasing that, and he goes, there's even more to come. And then, like, a night or two later, he was found shot in the back of the head, and the bullet is untraceable. The gun is untraceable. And they said he was robbed, but he still had all of his belongings on him. And so who would shoot him in the back of the head? First off, if you're getting robbed, you're not getting shot in the back of the head unless you're getting executed.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be a robbery. It'd be a homicide.
It's PEMDAS. It's the order of operations.
Oh my God. Yeah, it's PEMDAS. And, yeah, he was found shot in the back of the head in an alley outside of his apartment.
Right.
And they said he was robbed and killed on his way back home.
He was fine though, right?
He was completely fine, yeah. I mean, he had a bullet through his skull. But yeah,
they just pulled it out. He healed 4 to 6 weeks.
So I think that because you know the stuff Alex Jones is on the borderline on releasing and all that is the same sort of whistleblower type stuff. And the thing is that with WikiLeaks and Anonymous, they're completely anonymous.
All right.
So there's no real threat to them, but that's also why they don't pump out information as much as a guy like Alex Jones would, because he's not scared of ruining his image.
Also he's a show, and he's making money off of it.
He's making money off of it.
Selling his
image and his beliefs and stuff like
also
that.
Also the
like
vitamin stuff or whatever.
Yeah, the alpha
actually,
brain.
I also saw stuff that like people actually did testing on it, and they're like, "Yo, this stuff actually makes you stupider." Like,
yeah, because what it's doing is it's pumping you full of vitamins, and if you get too many vitamins, like let's say you're on a 2,000 calorie diet and you take a vitamin, and it's like, oh, take 2 of these, you get like 75% of all your daily vitamins and minerals. And the stuff that he was selling was like, one serving was like 2 or 3 days worth of your vitamins and minerals, and it was putting your body in like an overdrive, and it was just fucking with your metabolism.
Right. Obviously, that's not good for you.
I think it was sort of the same. Because there's a lot of stuff, even Joe Rogan promotes, like Alpha Brain, you're not supposed to take that.
Yeah, nootropics.
There's a guy I followed on YouTube that was big onto astral projection and lucid dreaming, and he plugged this supplement called lucidamine.
Yeah.
Which is, it's got melatonin and L-theanine and like 2 other chemicals that help promote dreaming.
Yeah, I think I've heard of that.
And stuff like that. I took it for a while. And what I found out is that when you take it, it makes it easier for you to lucid dream. It gives you more vivid dreams. But when you stop taking it,
fucks you up.
It fucks up with your sleep schedule.
Right.
Because you're not taking all those vitamins in at the same time when you're going to bed. And that's why I get, like, I don't sleep, or I get chronic nightmares and shit like that. And it's fucked up. People tell me, oh, just get super high. Dude, I get fucking ripped out of my mind every night before I even think about going to bed.
I think doing anything with regularity, when you stop doing it, it's going to change. It's going to fuck you up one way or another. Even if it's not to an intense degree. Like getting into a habit,
getting up early in the morning,
any habit,
getting up twice over the weekend. Last weekend when I was working at Angel Swords, then the next day, even though I went to bed at like 4 a.m, still got up at 8.
Right.
Like, and I didn't
you start to notice a difference, and your body gets accustomed.
Clock, dude.
There's an internal clock. It's strange the way.
Then when I go back to sleep, that's actually when I dream. I don't dream when I like normally sleep almost every night. It's only when I go back to sleep.
Yeah, it seems like shorter sleep cycles are the ones that give you that you remember your dreams in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a friend, his name's Dave. I haven't seen him in a long time, but in high school he had a weird sleep schedule where he would sleep. It was like a swing shift. He'd sleep for like 4 hours, and then he'd be up for like an hour, and then he'd sleep for 2 hours, come to school. Go through school, get out at like 6 period, then sleep for 2 hours, awake, sleep. And it was like, I remember when he started doing it, and I don't remember what it was called, but I remember he would keep telling us he had the heart of a champion. Because he's going to like power through it. And it was giving him all these weird, like, almost spiritual side effects where he was just like one with everybody almost. Like, you know that person that comes in that you see every now and then that's like covered in dream catchers, that it's like, let me see into your spirit cycle. That was how Dave was, and it was just fucking weird. And I think dreams are really powerful.
I think it seems like it'd be
properly.
It would be difficult, I would imagine, to start to get into a sleep cycle like that where you're periodically taking naps.
Yeah. Somebody I know does like 2-hour intervals.
For sleeping.
Yeah.
Well,
And
in
then,
Mexico,
like, throughout
don't they do like a siesta or something? It's called like a nap
Where
during
they
the
sleep
day
for like 12 hours straight.
Yeah.
Well, this dude, he like does only like 4 times a day. He'll sleep for 2 hours.
Yeah.
So he's still getting his 8 hours a day, but you like
It's in bits and pieces.
Yeah.
Which I've tried to do that, like just get a cumulative 8 hours. It doesn't feel the same for me, at least. But I think you probably would have to become accustomed to it.
Yeah, and it feels like.
And then if you don't do it, you probably get tired at weird times during the day. You know?
Yeah. I was so tired the other day, like after working at the sword booth, and then I went to work. I was just freaking taking pasta out, and it's already in a strainer, and I'm putting it in another strainer to put it and bring it over to the sink, and I'm like, and I did it twice, and then I realized, like, what the fuck am I doing?
Yeah, but sometimes you gotta double strain it.
Sometimes
dude.
you gotta strain it twice.
Yeah,
get those fucking.
I heard you like your pasta strained,
Yeah,
so I strained your pasta.
We heard you like your pasta super dry.
Put a strainer inside your strainer.
Yeah, you bring it out. You don't even put it on a plate. You just hand them the fucking coriander.
There you go.
Coriander, whatever the fuck it's pronounced. I don't know, man.
Did you see they're doing they have like plastic guns now that you can like 3D print?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember hearing about that.
That's crazy.
Like
as
real
fuck.
guns now. I remember it was airsoft guns. And paintball
Evidently,
guns.
they're real guns.
Dude, eventually, they're gonna fucking 3D print a woman for me.
That's probably true. Bill Burr was talking about that.
Yeah, Bill Burr was talking about. He goes, growing up and having to deal with blow up dolls, and now being in 2018, and they have robots that you can have sex with. He goes, imagine getting into that fucking career. You go to work and you just fuck a robot and take notes.
We saw him a couple days.
We saw him Saturday night.
Fun.
Up in Rochester.
Awesome show, dude. Such an awesome show. But fucking. So after the show was over, I was talking to Seth about this before you came in, Cass. After the show was over, Seth dropped me off at Gary's bar. It's a popular hangout for a man such as myself. And I walk in, and one of my buddies, I'll call him A. And I'll just call him Bobby. My buddy Bobby is there. And there's like 3 other fucking trailer trash humans there. It was 2 guys and a girl. So I'm sitting there and I'm watching the UFC fight on my phone, and the bartender's like tuning in with me, talking to me about it and stuff like that. And so Bobby comes in and he goes, "Hey, I need 2 Budweisers and 2 shots of Jack Daniels." And she pours them for him, hands him the beers. He takes a shot, chugs the beer, takes the other shot, chugs the other beer. And he starts talking to us. He's joking around. You can tell he's already fucked up, and it's only like 11:30 at night, and he was at like 3 o'clock range right there by then.
Ooh.
So he's talking to these other people at the bar, these trailer trash motherfuckers, and he goes, I got a Suzuki or a Kawasaki, some crotch rocket outside.
Something with an I at the end, because that's every crotch rocket motorcycle.
He's like, or a Yamaha, whatever. He's like, I just bought a new bike. He goes, I'll let you take it out for a spin if you buy me a drink. The guy buys him a drink, and he fucking takes Bobby's keys and goes out, cruises his bike for like 20 minutes, comes back, gives him the keys back. The other guy buys him a drink, takes the keys, spins out the fucking car or the motorcycle for like 20 minutes, comes back. These guys are fucking beyond shit-faced. So Bobby's girlfriend that he has 2 kids with calls him and starts bitching him out, yada, yada, yada. So he's like, fuck it, I'm going to stay at Gary's for the night. And he tries to take money out. All of his money and assets were liquidated. His girlfriend took all the money out of their bank account. So he's freaking out, has another drink, leaves. He shouldn't even been walking home. This guy was that fucked up. Like he should have been fucking crawling back to his house. He was that
if he hits somebody, even walking, he's gonna get in some trouble
for sure. Yeah,
walking while intoxicated.
So he leaves. So we're sitting there, and this whole time there's this guy sitting next to me. His name's Dave, and I'm using his real name because the guy's a fucking bag of shit, and I hope I never see him again. So the guy's name's Dave, and we're sitting there. I'm drinking a gin and tonic. The UFC fights just got over. I'm talking to the bartenders, talking about football, whatever. And so he looks at me. He's sitting right next to me, just like you are. And he goes, "Hey, you want to play darts?" And I look at him. I go, "Dude," I haven't played darts in years. I don't even know how to play. I really just want to relax. I had a long day. I just want to have a couple of drinks and just, chill out for a bit.
And this guy won't take no for an answer.
He will not take no for an answer, dude. He grabbed me by the pussy. He's just like, "I'll buy you." He goes, He goes, I'll buy you 2 drinks if you play darts with me right now. I'm like, fucking okay. And he goes, what are you drinking? And I go, double Tanqueray and tonics. So he ordered me 2 double Tanqueray and tonics. We started playing darts. Fucking garbage game, dude. It lasted like an hour and 10 minutes. We were playing cricket. The darts I knew was like 301, whatever you said. 301, which is like blackjack with darts. So you have to get the closest to 301 without going over. So this one you had to get like 3 in the same spot, and like when you capture the spot, you capture the points.
Mm-hmm. I've done that one.
So stupid. I hate it. I never want to play it again. Fuck you, dude.
Yeah. So aim for the 1. aim for 1 every time.
And so we're sitting there, we're playing, and then the game ends, and it's probably like 1:30, 1:15 at this point. So we go outside for a smoke, and we're sitting there talking about life, talking about the stars, stuff like that, and telling me how his license is suspended in New York State, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Maryland because of his DUIs, and he's not allowed into Canada, and he's not allowed to have a passport. And he was telling me how he lives in a tent in Charlotte, North Carolina, about 1.5 miles away from this construction site that he's been working at. And he works at the construction site per diem, and then he works at a factory per diem. This dude's a fucking waste case and a half, dude.
Like, clearly.
Yeah.
He sounds like a cartoon character.
So we're sitting there, right? We're sitting there, and he goes, you look really familiar. And I go, yeah, you do too, Dave. And he goes, you got any family in town? I go, yeah. I go, my whole family lives in Oswego. And he goes, you got any family in the military? Well, that's a weird question. I go, yeah. I go, my cousin Brandon and my cousin John were in the Marines. And I go, they joined up right after 9/11. 9/11 happened their senior year of high school, and then they went to the Marines right afterward. Or maybe it was a year later, if that. He goes, oh, Brandon and John. He goes, I know them. And I go, really? And I'm not going to use their last names, but I asked him, I go, yeah, Brandon last name and John last name. He goes, yeah, I know both of them. And I'm like, all right, that's kind of weird. They never mentioned you before. I go, I know all of their fucking old squad mates and stuff like that live in Oswego. A few of them, like one of them lives in my neighborhood. And so we're sitting there, we're talking, and he goes, Brandon and I were stationed in Iran for like 8 years together. And I'm like, wow, that's crazy. And I'm sitting there and I'm thinking to myself, I go, Brandon, I go, first off, I go, America was never like deployed in Iran. And if they are, it wasn't until recently. And then I'm thinking even more, and I'm like, Brandon was in Afghanistan, and I go, and he was a marksman. I go, so he worked with like 3 dudes, and I go, and I've met the 2 dudes that are still alive, and I go, you're not either of them. So he's going on telling all these bullshit war stories, talking about how there was one day where him and Brandon and John and like their whole squad went to this fucking fucking encampment. He called it an insurgent encampment, and their orders were to shoot on sight and raise the fucking encampment. And he goes, you wouldn't believe our faces when we showed up and we were looking at them through the night vision goggles, and the entire campsite was just all kids with guns, and we gunned them all down and burned the bodies. What the fuck? So we're sitting there talking, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, this dude's fucking nuts. Yeah. I couldn't get a word in edgewise, man. He'd be like, oh, so what do you do for a living? And I'm like, oh, I work in a nursing home. And he goes, yeah, my great-grandfather was in a nursing home. And then he'd go on like a 10-minute fucking tangent. And so it gets me like quarter to 2. Bar's getting ready to close. It's just me and this Dave guy at the bar. We're sitting there, and he goes, oh, let's get a couple more shots. I'm like, all right. So Kaylee pours us a couple shots. We each take 2 shots of Disaronno and a shot of bourbon each. We're sitting there, we're talking. They don't close the bar out yet because we're all having a good time hanging out, listening to music. And it gets to be like 5 after 2, and Rachel gives me that look, and then she's like, you guys gotta get out of here. And he's like, no, I want to leave. I'm gonna have another drink. And then so she texts me, and she goes, you gotta get him out of here. I'm like, all right. And I go, hey, Dave, I go, they're gonna keep the bar open for a little bit. I go, let's go out and smoke a cigarette, and then we'll come back, get one more drink, and we'll head home. And he's like, all right. So he was telling me the whole night that his mom had passed away from cancer like 3 or 4 weeks ago, and that's why he's back in town. He's living at his grandma's that lives on like Schuyler and 3rd. And on East Schuyler and 3rd. So we're talking about it, and we go out for a cigarette. And as we light the cigarettes, I go, hey, where do you live? I go, I'm going to walk you part way there. You know, you're really fucked up. And he goes, oh, thanks, man. I really appreciate it. So we get on a Schuyler Street and take a left. And then all of a sudden I look at him, I'm like, dude, I think I dropped my cigarettes. And he goes, really? I go, yeah. I go, I'm going to go look for him. I go, you stay right here. I'll be right back. And then I went home. And that was my night with Dave. I think he's still standing there to this day, waiting for me to come back with my fucking menthols. That was a story I had to get out. That's been like the only crazy thing that's happened. It's like Harborfest happened, And that's still the craziest thing that's happened to me this summer, is running into a guy that pretended to be one of my who opens a conversation with, you have any family that was in the military? I should have known it was a red flag right there. I should have left. But yeah.
Yeah, that's fucking weird as shit.
Fuck you, Dave. I have his email. I'm going to sign him up for Mormon.org.
Dave at usarmy.com.
I wonder if he emailed me. He's like, you ever coming back with those cigarettes?
Email.
It's just an email with one sentence.
Like a text.
You coming back or... Yeah, you meet some weird people out there in bars.
Yeah, dude, I meet fucking sketchy people. I saw my Uncle Pete today for the first time in a long time. He's like my dad's best friend. And he used to live next door to us, and then his girlfriend was cheating on him, and so he left. And so the house that you were living in, both of you were living in, they were renting that out, and he moved out and moved in with his nephew.
It's a good house.
And yeah, it's a decent house. They fucking destroyed it.
Worse?
I bet you they wish that it was fucking CJ and that other guy that destroyed it, Sean Washer. I guarantee you they wish it was those guys destroying it. They moved out Sunday.
Sean did the worst.
They moved out either Saturday or Sunday, and my parents went in Monday to check it out and like scope it out because they already have people that want to move in. And they, you know how the door handles are those like really fancy crystal doorknobs?
Yeah.
They took all of them. They took all of the crystal doorknobs off all the doors in the house.
No.
Like 9 of them. They were each worth like decent money as far as doorknobs go, dude. My mom was pissed.
On
like
the doorknob
my
scale,
mom was
those
more
were
Even
of
if they're all $10 a piece, that's
yeah,
$100.
And so all the doorknobs and all the doors are gone. And we didn't even they didn't even kick them out. Like they wanted to leave. And they told my dad that. My dad's like, yeah, I'll let you guys leave early, even though you signed like a year lease in like October or whatever. He's like, you can leave early. I'll just take the security deposit. So they took all the doorknobs off of all the fucking door handles in the house.
I can't imagine doorknobs are worth that much money. I mean, you could buy a doorknob for $5.
I guess they really liked them.
It must have been. And then they had a yard sale like a week leading up to them moving out, and all the stuff that they didn't sell for the yard sale, they just left on the yard.
Ugh.
So it was just a bunch of kids' toys and old clothes and shit scattered all
I remember
across the
seeing
lawn
that.
and shit. Yeah,
I remember seeing that. Yep.
we didn't pick it up until a few days ago because we didn't even know they were gone because the yard sale stuff was still set up. We gave them access to both garages. There's the garage next to the house, and there's the garage behind my house.
Oh, wow.
And they stole all the tools out of both fucking sheds.
Shit.
Yeah, and so my dad's fucking livid, and he can't find where these people are.
They're probably in Mexico.
They can't have gone far because one of them works at Novellus, which prompts me to ask the question, why the fuck did you steal all my dad's tools if you're making 6 figures at Novellus doing fucking whatever? They're a bunch of scumbags.
I mean, free tools, I guess.
So yeah, if you're listening and you need a place to live at, if you're looking for an apartment,
Novellus is bring your own tools.
yeah, BYOT. If you're looking for a place to stay at, don't rent from such and such because there's no door fucking knobs. Fucking, dude, who steals a door? Like, you know, Austin Powers when they throw the cupcake,
saying. I don't understand.
And he goes, "Who throws a cupcake?" Yeah, who steals a doorknob? You fucking scabs.
Like I said, you can go to Walmart and get a $4 doorknob and put it on there. Fucking, I mean, it's not like it really matters. Does anybody even like, besides those people, like who goes into a house and like checks out the doorknobs to see how like ornamental they are? Like, yo, you got nice doorknobs, dude. Like, no, I've never heard anybody say that. Like, beautiful
when you look for an apartment, when you look for an apartment, it says it'll say like 3-bedroom, 2-bath. It doesn't say 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 12-karat doorknobs.
Yeah,
Maybe that's what you gotta do.
Maybe that's what we have to start doing. Just be like, yeah, we have ornamental antique doorknobs.
You gotta advertise the doorknob. You gotta put it out there.
That house was the best for playing the floor is lava. I could literally go in every single room in the upstairs and then go down the railing and then go through the living room and then go all the way around into the bathroom and then into the kitchen.
I remember doing mushrooms in there and we were building couch forts and shit.
Fort.
I'm pretty sure we chanted fort for like 3 hours straight. Cause
We were
We
just
didn't
taking
really know what was
all the
happening.
furniture and all the cushions from everything and mattresses, and we were just making a big
that
fort.
that living room was a
I know.
fucking
I wish
mess.
I was hanging out with you guys back then. I only went over a few times with Graham, and I remember the last time we went over, we walked in, and in that, when you walk in from the kitchen door, there's that room on the right, and like, we walked. Oh no, it was the bathroom on the right, and we like the door was wide open, and it was like these two super trashy girls just like doing lines off the kitchen sink.
Oh, that night.
Covered in hair and shit.
I probably know what night that was, because that was when Sean had like 1 million people over.
The red people from Redfield or whatever.
Yeah.
They, oh my god.
And there was 1 million people that no one knew, like at all.
Like, they started taking stuff out of CJ's room, just
Yeah.
stealing stuff, and like...
Yeah, luckily I had a
fucking
fucking lock
disgusting,
on my
dude.
door.
And then there was frickin' the next day there was beer cans like in the school
Yeah,
courtyard.
They were partying like at the school, and there were beer cans and shit all over, like the fucking playground and stuff.
The playground.
And like it was while school was in session. That was the fucked up part. Like
Oh
the
my
kids
God.
the kids came to school, and there were probably still like two strung out fucking druggies fucking on the slide.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I remember that. I remember Graham and I talked about it the next day.
The kids are like getting drunk off the ass end of beers. Like,
They start finger fucking each other.
No.
This happens when you drink PBR, dude.
yeah.
You dip your fingers in.
Yeah. We didn't even talk about gun control. We
Oh yeah, let's
skimmed
get
over
back
it,
into
and then
gun
we-
control.
and then we
Full
got into-
auto. Everybody gets one.
Everybody gets full
For
auto.
free?
No, if you want them, they should just make them cheaper so I can get one.
Yeah, just hand them out at Walmart or whatever.
You
Yeah.
should get a gun blade, like from Final Fantasy.
Did you see that skeleton that they dug up
I love
From
it.
Final
in
Fantasy.
like India or some shit where in like it has
Are we going off of gun control again?
yeah. Well, it's weapon based. They like I don't know. Archaeologists found this weird fucking body where the dude's arm was gone, but like it was replaced with like a prosthetic limb, which had like a knife on it. Like
Oh,
it was
cool.
like an arm that had like a knife attached. It was so fucking weird looking.
That's pretty cool.
I don't know how I have no idea how I found it. I'll see if I can find it again. But that's so fucking. It was from like 1500 years ago or some shit. So back then they were fucking. What are you typing in here? Indian. Indian.
Dead guy.
Indian dead guy with weapon.
It's
Is that it?
Those are 3 different people. 2 of them are Indian, probably.
What about this one?
on arm. Skeleton with weapon arm.
I found it. I don't know what that is. That guy looks like he's on so much meth right now. I'll see if I can
Yeah, you can connect.
cast. Is it working?
I don't know. But gun control, you know.
Yeah, get into it.
let's
Pear
have
juice. He's cracking open the pear juice.
if everybody has full automatic weapons and are allowed to buy tanks and anti-aircraft missiles and stuff, you know, we'd all be at the same playing field.
So you're saying like military grade weaponry should be available for the general public?
Yeah.
It makes sense to me because a lot of our most of our tax dollars go into paying for a military that doesn't ever really see combat. Like, the military would be better off fighting a war in downtown Chicago than they would be fucking fighting in the Middle East.
For everything that they make, they have to make another one and give it to a U.S. citizen. I'm just making up bullshit stuff.
Well, yeah, I
That
see
makes
it.
sense, though. If they make a crazy railgun, you should also
You can't
give
even
one
really
to your
tell from
citizens. Because then that will force you to work with them and make better decisions.
I think it's gotten to the point now where the government is so powerful, and the powers that be are so powerful that a lot of people like us, lower middle class people living in a small town,
Here's the
they
thing.
feel powerless and helpless.
All the people that say that people should be stripped of their guns, and they say it's too easy to get a gun. They've never tried to get a gun.
Yeah,
No,
no.
they haven't.
And they probably never shot a gun.
They're probably terrified.
And yeah, they're probably mostly scared of guns. Which, I mean, that makes sense.
You should be, but like, there's a respect, and also it's a tool, and like,
It just doesn't make sense to me to pull guns from everyone when guns are always going to be a thing.
yep.
And they're going to
There's
be
more
in the hands.
guns in America
When if you
than
pull
there are
the guns from all these fucking people, the only people that are going to have guns are the people that want to do bad shit with them.
They're like, yeah, I'm
Like-
not going to do that, and they don't
Yeah.
even know I have a gun. I got it illegally.
Yeah, the
Shit,
problem
I don't
is
even have to
that
turn it in.
There's so many like official guns that there's more guns that are tagged than there are citizens in America, but that doesn't even account for all the illegal weapons that are smuggled in, purchased. That's why they can't fucking catch any of these people.
I think it's stupid that, like, I don't know. I don't want the government knowing that I have guns. That's ridiculous. If they're
that puts a big old fucking Sharpie chisel tip yellow highlighter on you.
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Like, oh shit! Now if I'm going to invade this country, I'll use the United Nations from this other country. Tell all them that we're doing it for this reason, and then frickin' get everybody's guns or whatever. You just whoop, cities in
mean-
lockdown, knock on their doors.
Yeah.
Boom.
I
Hey,
mean,
we know
plain
you
and
have
simple,
guns,
it's
give 'em up,
shitting
all
on the
shit.
Constitution as
Yeah.
well.
Taking away the guns,
You
it is,
have
yeah.
freedom of speech and then the right to bear. It's the second it's the Second Amendment for a reason.
Like the
Yep.
problem
Like-
is too is that freedom of speech, like we were talking about with the
That's
whole Alex
also
Jones
in trouble,
test
too, though.
getting, and the thing is so many people don't realize how lucky we are.
Canada's fucked as far as like
Canada's
freedom of
fucked.
speech
Europe
and
is
speech
fucked.
laws.
Like there's comedians and performers that won't even perform overseas because
Yeah.
they can get in trouble just for something that they're acting out.
You
on
don't
stage.
have in Canada you can be jailed for like you don't have the right to free speech.
like we watched that Steven Crowder thing on hate speech,
Yeah.
and like who gets to decide what's hate speech?
Right. Well, yeah,
You
it's
know what I mean?
it's
You
yeah,
can't
it's
write a law
subjective.
about that.
It's subjective is what it is.
You know, and it's all these people, like, it's a bubble bursting, dude. It happened, I remember it starting, like, when I was in early high school or going into high school, where people were getting super sensitive about the stupidest shit, and it was always an outrage, that nothing could ever be solved peacefully. It was always, we have to shut down the school for a day and have a 4-hour long presentation about, like, I remember I got into an argument with a teacher because, it was, some white guy killed a black kid, which only makes up like 0.7% of all fucking black homicides in the country or whatever. I'm starting to sound like Kenny. But either way. Like, we had to watch this movie called Fruitvale Station. Amazing movie, by the way. Stars Michael B. Jordan. About this guy that was getting arrested by the cops, and while he was on the ground, a cop shot him and killed him. We had to spend like 2 weeks of English class studying this, and we had to write a report on why racism in America is out of control and why racism is wrong.
Yeah,
When she
like,
told us about that, I fucking freaked out. I'm like, everybody knows racism is wrong. I go, it's not like you're going to make us write an essay, and if there's a racist person in our class, you're going to be like, oh, I finally seen the light. You know what I
Right.
mean?
You're not going to
It's-
change somebody's mind.
No, you're not going to, especially when you're forcing them to.
Right.
That's where a lot of people get these, you know, that's where I came from with a lot of my opinions. A lot of the opinions that I have strongly, I mostly have because so many people tell me not to have that opinion. And it's like, why?
here's an example.
Go ahead, buddy.
Frickin' imagine, like, because I don't know, my fiance does this to me, and I'm not trying to throw her under the bus, but I feel like it's a good example where I'm just chilling and I'll be like deep in thought, and I don't mean to have bitch face or look like I'm mad, or like I'm just playing video games or whatever, or I'll just sigh for no reason. And it's like, oh, what's wrong? And I'm like, nothing's wrong. And just by asking
that.
what's wrong, then it like, and then I'm like, nothing. And then that's the deal. Like, and then it starts tumbling
Yeah.
from there. And it was like,
It
no.
becomes something
Yep.
when there's nothing.
And it was just like, no, literally, like, if you just didn't say anything about this, like, now I'm fucking pissed off because of all this.
Right.
I was perfectly fucking fine. I don't know, just certain stuff like that. I feel like now everyone's bringing certain stuff up now like that, where it's bringing stuff to make it more of an issue where, like, I don't know, but the thing is, it is a true thing for, like, I have friends that are of darker skin than mine, and they've been pulled over way more times than I have ever in my life.
I mean,
and
look,
they don't even smoke weed or anything.
people
and,
like issues. Like, they like confrontation.
Yep.
You know,
Controversy
because,
too.
yeah, and it's
Look at the NFL with the kneeling during the anthem.
Also, people like to talk from a position of talking shit about everything. Because
Yeah.
if you are the one that is, oh, this, blah, 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 that, and blah, 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 then you are acting like you are better than that, and, like, you
Yep.
know more and all that. But in all reality,
it
you're
comes
just...
down. Yeah. I know what you're saying. It comes down to, like, people feel like their opinions are truth. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And they kind of just want to spread their opinions to everybody. They want to be like, yeah, now that, like, this is my opinion, it's right, you're wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and that's what they do to everybody. Everybody does that now. And if you get attacked, if it's something that is contrary to your opinion, that's when the outrage culture comes in. You know, that's when people start tweeting and shit.
Another thing where it's just like, if you're right and you really believe something, you don't need to argue about it. Like, people, they're like, I was literally coming back on my bus from skating across America, and I told somebody, and they're like, no, you didn't. And I was like, okay. And it's just like, like, I can't.
I mean, no one's gonna, you can't really do anything about that.
I'm like, eh,
If you don't believe it, you don't believe it.
I really hope that person like Googled man skateboarding across America and it was like you on CNN and they're just like, no! They're like, nah, that's fake.
Fake news.
Hashtag fake
It is
news.
fake news. It's on CNN.
They tune into Alex Jones.
So, obviously you didn't do it because that's fake news.
Yep.
Yeah, well, Alex Jones didn't say you did.
Everything on CNN is fake. So.
oh, damn, where am I going to get my Alex Jones?
That Cassidy Barney from that small hick town in Central New York. He keeps saying that he's skateboarding across America. Did anybody see it? Did he live stream it? I don't see it on my Instagram. I don't see it on my Facebook. I don't believe he did it at all. He's full of shit. Don't believe him. Fuck the whales.
He's part of the conspiracy theorists trying to get a carbon tax on all of us.
He's trying to turn all the minorities across small towns in Central America gay. And I mean Central America. We're talking about Guatemala and Mexico. He might have gone there. We don't know. There's no proof. Give me California, Berkeley. Find this Cassidy Barney. Is he turning the frogs gay? We don't know. He never said he wasn't.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I'm getting a little out of control here. Try this Alpha Brain. Try Lucidamine. It gives you cool dreams. You'll be able to see me and fly around town. Turn the frogs back into heterosexuals.
He always has to apologize at the end.
I'm sorry.
So, other conspiracy theorists. Ooh, what are they gonna go? Who are they gonna go after next now?
As far as what?
Like,
After Alex Jones.
Yeah. What's next? First, they went after Alex Jones, and I didn't say anything because it wasn't. I'm not Alex Jones. Then they came after NPR.
Ben Shapiro.
Ooh, yeah.
Ben Shapiro's a big one.
Yeah, that's possible.
Because,
And it's funny because he's Jewish, so everyone's saying that he's a Nazi, but it's like, no, but he's a Jew.
yeah, like his grandparents, like, survived the Holocaust. And he's getting called a Nazi.
Yeah, it's just
And
kind
it's
of
like,
stupid.
it's like that whole outrage thing. And
I don't think they care.
I don't really like him, but whatever. It's
I like him. I like how my problem with him is that he's too ingrained in statistics. He thinks that analytics dictate how the world works.
Well, the thing is,
the other
like,
way around.
Not all stats are true.
No,
Like, in fact, there's a statistic that says that a lot of statistics are made up.
yeah, but that one might also be made up.
Exactly.
yeah, we just made this up. That's
Right.
Yeah, it is.
I mean,
we are making it
like,
up.
look, if you're a news, like any sort of news source, you can just make up statistics if you want to, and people believe it because you're a news source.
Yeah.
Sources say this is the percentage of this.
That's when you know it's bullshit. When it says sources, when it either cites anonymous sources or Reddit.com, you know it's bullshit. We did it, Boston Marathon. Fucking, yeah. No, I think it's going to be Ben Shapiro because
Word.
he can't do any conventions, conferences, meetups, talks, anything.
It's weird.
Without having like a small military deployed.
Yeah.
Like he was going through all the campuses in California, going through Berkeley, UCLA, USC, San Jose State. And he was talking on, I think it was Joe Rogan's podcast.
And
He
then
was
all
talking
these
about how
people
he had-
that show up, they're the one that's making him a big deal.
Exactly. And they're showing up, and he was talking, when he went to UC Berkeley, he had like 200 something cops there just for him. And then he had like 12 SWAT officers that were escorting him everywhere. Like fully armored SWAT officers had to escort this guy throughout a college campus because people don't like what he says.
Yeah.
Like,
People just
that's
call
the
names
stupidest
too.
Shit.
People do like name calling for the sake of like labeling people. So like they put people under a category even if it doesn't make any sense just so that they can mass like talk shit about people.
My favorite,
Like-
my favorite video. There's a few videos out there that are like titled like Ben Shapiro owning liberal. Like those ones or whatever. The one that gets me is the Jordan Peterson one, and he is leaving a seminar. I think he's leaving, and he gets stopped by this girl with her phone out, and she's recording him, and she starts regurgitating all these things that he had already talked about at the conference. And he's just like, if you want to have a discussion, I'll wait here and we can have a discussion and talk this out. I'll hear you out here. And while he's trying to keep it calm and see where she's coming from, she's yelling at him, threatening him, all this stuff. And it's
Yeah.
like, there wouldn't be, it goes back to people wanting outrage and controversy and wanting to be above what they hate because they don't want to hear, they don't want their opinion to change even slightly or gain any bit of sympathy because these people, their entire identity is based upon hating other
there's no-
people's beliefs.
Yeah,
They
and
need
there's
to
never-
feel right. Like
Yeah.
that's
Right.
their. It's
and it never comes to civil discussion either. It always becomes a shouting match.
if you're right though. Like, why do you need to even like, you know, like
Right, like I it's like,
argue with?
Yeah.
okay, like right, like someone you know someone's factually wrong. Just because they believe that doesn't mean you have to fucking go in and try to
not
change
like-
their mind.
He's actually coming up to my house and frickin' talking to me about this stuff. I don't have to follow him on Facebook or whatever. Like,
I think if Ben Shapiro was a Jehovah's Witness, he would have been assassinated by now. Already. Coming to your house, he goes, "Hey, did you know that abortion's murder?" Oh wait, no, because the people that hate him aren't gonna have guns.
Yeah, that's true.
They're gonna call
point.
the cops that they protest against.
he's on my land.
I am a sovereign citizen. And the United States Confederate Act of 1841 dictates that I am allowed to extradite any person of non-Catholic Christianity descent from my land, which is including but not limited to practitioners of Tibetan Buddhism, Hinduism, animism, Shintoism, and Jehovah's Witnesses.
You sound just like a girl, dude.
They're turning the frogs gay. Witness it.
Oh my god. All right, let's take a break on that now.
Fuck this shit, man. I'm fucking sick of this earth.
Clear Shots is available on any of your favorite podcast platforms. ClearShotsPodcast.com is the best place to find all of our social media links. You can find us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter at ClearShotsPod. Thank you for listening, and we will see you next time.